talk about the second coming of Jesus. Is it happening? So St. Paul talks about the coming of the Lord in 1 Thessalonians chapter 4. And this is where the idea of a rapture comes from for our Protestant brothers and sisters. But in it, he writes, "For the Lord himself will descend," and then skipping ahead, "Then we who are alive, who are left, shall be caught up together with them in the clouds to meet the Lord in the air." That is a really weird scene. What is happening there? So another term for the second coming of Christ is Parousia. And the term Parousia is actually a political term from St. Paul's age. If Caesar was coming, then you would meet him on the road and then follow him back to your home. That's what's happening here in 1 Thessalonians chapter 4. Jesus is coming down from heaven, and then we are meeting him in the air and following him back. And so while yes, this will happen when Jesus comes again, this also happens at every Mass. At every Mass, Jesus comes to us and we get caught up in heaven to receive him into our bodies and then follow him back out into the world. And the early church knew this. It's bad historicity to think that the early church thought that Jesus' return was imminent and that they were disappointed in how long it took. Throughout the New Testament, the early church thinks that Jesus' return is imminent, and Jesus even alludes to this in Matthew 24, verse 34, when he's talking about his return. And he says, "Truly I say to you, this generation will not pass away till all these things take place." The early church expected it, and Jesus promised it, and the early church also knew that Jesus visits us every time that we celebrate Mass. Every Eucharist is Parousia. When Christ does come again, he'll come to us in the same exact glory that he comes to us in every single Mass. The only difference will be what we see.